Good morning. It's Saturday, January 8th. And on January 6th, President Biden gave a speech. A pretty strong speech. And he, during his speech, emphasized not what really is going on so badly in this country and what happened on January 6th. The emphasis was on, in my mind, patriotism. And patriotism is about love of country and attempting to do what's right for the country, not as what's right for you as an individual. And I talked about the many problems that we have in this country, and I recognize those problems. But does that mean that I'm against this country? No. I want this country to be better. I want this country to grow up and understand the needs of the people. And the needs of the people are that we get ourselves straightened out, that we admit that we are wrong about many things, and we try to correct them. You can't be a patriot just when you win. You must be a patriot when things are not going well, when you recognize what it is. And even if you disagree with what's happening around you, and it's a loss in your mind, you must still come to the conclusion that others didn't think so. They don't think so. And therefore, you must work hard to get your ideas across and expect that somehow or other you are going to accomplish something of importance. If we look back at lost elections, very close lost elections, like Stephen Douglas, who lost to Abraham Lincoln back in 1860. Did he go off on a tangent and carry on like a lunatic? No. Douglas said, partisan feelings must yield to patriotism. I'm with you, Mr. President, and God bless you. That's what Douglas said. And Al Gore, who in 2000 was there was a virtual tie between he and George W. Bush. And in fact, it went 36 days before it was cleared up. And it wasn't clear whether Gore or Bush had won. But the Supreme Court intervened and issued a ruling. And Gore conceded the election following that ruling on the Supreme Court. And when he conceded, that was very important. But what was even more important was what he said. He said, for the sake of our unity as people and the strength of our democracy, I offer my concession. I also accept my responsibility, which I will discharge unconditionally to honor the new president-elect and do everything possible to help him bring Americans together in fulfillment of the great vision that our Declaration of Independence defines and that our Constitution affirms and defends. Now here are two people, Douglas and Gore, who lost very tight elections, and that could be disheartening. Did they claim fraud? Did they rant and rave? No, they stepped up to the plate and recognized the fact that their concession was extremely important, that we had to bring this nation back together again. And I am sure at that point in our history that this nation wasn't being torn apart like it is now. Although Lincoln had to survive a civil war. And right now, when you look at what's going on in this country, it wouldn't surprise me if Biden had to survive a civil war, because the people in this country are so divided they don't know which way to go. And it's going to take a monumental effort on the president and the vice president and the members of Congress and the members of the Senate to bring this nation together. But for some reason, for some unknown reason, Ha 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 ha. We can't do that. We can't work together. We haven't figured out the way to work together. Why? Why? I don't know why. But think about this. Think about you can't love your country only when you win. So those of us who really love our country, and I admit I am one of those people, have to work very hard. Face up to the fact that we have people who are unsatisfied. We have to come together. We can't satisfy everybody. I don't care what you do. No matter what you do, there will always be 10 or 15% of the people who don't agree with what you do and are unhappy about what's being done. But we have to recognize the fact that we all have to work together and overcome the obstacles, big and small. And we must recognize that this country is changing. This is not the same country it was in the 1850s and 1860s. It's not the same country it was in the year 2000. It's not the same country it was 10 years ago. We have had many changes. There have been many different things that have happened that have affected our lives and the way our thinking. And you must recognize the fact that these conditions exist. And we the people, must be patriotic and work hard to overcome that. I'm not going to go into all the great details of those things. Most of you know what I'm talking about. We must recognize the fact that we are becoming more and more diverse. That seems to be bothering many parts of this country. So that's my spiel for this morning. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.